Harding here with livefreewitheft.com. I'm here to give you a basic but quick instruction on the basic tapping routines for EFT. First of all, we first start with what we call the setup. Now on the setup tapping, we tap on the karate chop point. That's one place to do it. Or another place is what we call the sore spot. Now the reason why we do the setup is to deal with psychological reversal, and that's where the body's energy is going in an opposite direction of our intention. Without going into a lot of details, bottom line is we can test for that and then deal with it on a case-by-case basis, or just do this first stage or setup routine every time, and then we don't have to worry about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the setup each and every time. So we start tapping, like I said, either on the karate chop, we'll do that on this round, or we can do it on the sore spot. So first we'll do it on the karate chop point, and when we do it on the karate chop point, what we do is we say, first, think of an issue that you have, something that's upsetting or sad or anything that you're having an issue with. And what I'll say is when I say this problem, you can just think in your mind about that problem as well, and you can just state the problem, okay? So I'll say, even though I have this problem, and then you would state, even though I have this, whatever the issue is, I deeply and completely accept myself. And we'll do that 3 times. Even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. And that's the setup. The next part is the first sequence. And in this sequence, we're going to continue from the last issue that we had. But instead of saying the whole phrase, even though I have this problem, I deeply and completely accept myself, what I'm going to say is just a reminder phrase. So I'm just going to say this problem. So you come up with 1 or 2 or 3 words, whatever you're comfortable with, to remind you of that problem. So as we go through this sequence, each time we tap, we state the problem as a reminder phrase. Alright? So let's start with the sequence. And what we'll do is we'll start tapping, and what I'll do is name each point as I go down through the tapping points and say this problem, and in this case you just state your problem. Okay? So I'll start with top of the head, this problem. And what I'm doing on top of the head is not exactly on top, but more on the crown. So I'll state the problem, this problem. Then I'll go with the eyebrow, and it's right between the eyes there, up here on the forehead. Alright? And we go with this problem. Then we go with the side of the eye. It's right here where that the eye socket is ending here and beginning with the the skull area from the eye socket. So right here on the side. Now again, when we go through this, the points are very forgiving. You don't have to be exact, so don't worry about it too much. So just be in the general area. And what I usually use, by the way, is I use like 2 fingers generally on most of the points like this. And we'll just say this problem. Then I go under the eye and say this problem. And under the nose, this problem, so right here. And then what we call the chin is under the lip here, right there, this problem. Now the next one we call the collarbone. Now it's actually where that U is, where your neck joins the torso, where that U is on either side. Although we call it the collarbone, it's not really the collarbone. In reality, what it is where the collarbone meets the sternum. So right there, that bone, that point there, and you just tap on that point, this problem. The next one is under the arm. What it is about 4, if you have 4 fingers right from under the arm area, right there on the side where the ribs are. For the ladies, it's usually where the bra strap is, and you just tap on there and say this problem. Another variation some people use is both hands and go like this and tap on both sides, so you can do that as well. On the other areas you can tap on just one side if you'd like, or like we do in the eye areas, you could do both like this, okay, when we go down there. Okay, alright, so we got under the arm, and then the next one sometimes we do is the wrists. Now you can either do the wrists like this on one side, or you can do it, I like doing it this way. I hit both of the wrists, so it's just about 1 inch where the wrist joins the arm there, right in this area, and you tap on there. Or I do it like this and I do both at the same time. Some other people do it like this. They actually go with the wrist together like this or this. So it's whatever's more comfortable for you. So again, I usually do it this way. And the reminder phrase, this problem. Okay? Now the next ones are the thumb. So we're going to do the thumb, and what I mean by that is it's at the bed of the nail there on the side of the thumb, on the inside portion, the portion facing the body. So you go there on the thumb on the inside and say, this problem. Then the index finger, same general location, right there where the bed of the nail meets, but on the side there, and say, this problem. The middle finger, the same thing on the inside there on the side, this problem. Now we're going to skip the ring finger because we have another point we're going to use that's the same meridian anyway. And we're going to go to the little finger and go, this problem. Then we're going to hit back on the karate chop point with the reminder phrase, this problem. There we go. And that's the entire sequence. Now again, a couple tips as we go through the sequence. Again, when we go down from the top of the head, some people go around here and kind of hit all of it because there's a lot of nerve endings in there and a lot of energy aspects in there. Then when we go here, we can use one hand. And by the way, you can use either hand. And at times you want to switch hands. And usually most people use their dominant hand. Then when we go to the sides, you can either use one hand. And again, either hand, it doesn't matter. Or you can use both if you have both hands free. Now if you're driving, don't do it this way. Okay? Then under the eye, you can use both if you'd like. Under the nose, the chin, the collarbone, under the arm, and the wrists. And again, that's the sequence. Now another procedure, and this is basically the third step, is called the 9 gamut. What that is find a spot on one of your hands that's about an inch up from the knuckles here. So it would be about an inch up here between the little finger and the ring finger knuckle. So I go up here, so I'm at this point here and I tap on it. So as I'm tapping on it, I'm going to go through a little odd sequence. If you thought the tapping before was odd, this one will really get you. But it goes something like this. First I'm going to have my eyes open, and then I'm going to close my eyes. Then I'm going to open them again and go hard down right with my eyes, and be careful not to move the head but the eyes. And then back to the center, and then hard down left with my eyes, back to the center. Then I'm going to take my eyes and roll them one way or the other, it doesn't matter, either way, and then back the other way, like that. And then I'm going to hum a little tune. Now, most of the time we use Happy Birthday. But you can hum anything you like that you enjoy, but usually we use Happy Birthday. And remember, as I'm going through this, I'm tapping on this 9 gamut point. And at the same time, reminding myself of that problem. And then I'm going to count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go back to the humming again. And that's the 9 gamut sequence. Okay, the fourth and final stage of the EFT basic recipe is repeat the sequence. What we're going to do here is we're going to do basically what we did in step 1 and 2, and we're going to combine them here in this sequence. But we're going to do a little different phraseology than we did the first time. So what we're going to do, let's say again, the problem, and the reason why we repeat this sequence many times is to make sure that we've straightened out the energy system, and also if our emotional level hasn't gone all the way down to 0. If it hasn't gone away completely, then we go through it again. And so it just sometimes we have to do it a few times. So on repeat the sequence, what we're going to do is we're going to tap on the karate chop point again. So in this sequence, we're going to do the same as we did in the first and the second step, but we're going to kind of combine them here. Okay, so we're going to tap on that karate chop point again and say a little different phraseology. And let's go something like this. Even though I still have this remaining problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. And we're going to do it 3 times. Even though I still have this remaining problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I still have this remaining problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. Then we're going to go to the sequence, and we're going to start at the top of the head, and we're going to say this remaining problem. Remember before we said the remaining problem, the problem, or a reminder phrase? Instead here we're just going to say this remaining problem. And then we're going to go to the eyebrow, this remaining problem. And then the side of the eye, this remaining problem. And then under the eye, this remaining problem. Under the nose, this remaining problem. On the chin, this remaining problem. On the collarbone, this remaining problem. Under the arm, this remaining problem. And then the wrists, this remaining problem. And then the thumb, this remaining problem. Remember on the inside there by the bed of the nail. The index finger, this remaining problem. The middle finger, this remaining problem. The little finger, this remaining problem. And back to the karate chop point, this remaining problem. Okay, take a deep breath. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. And that's the entire basic recipe. Now, a couple quick points. Number one, when we first start with an issue, we will rate the issue on a scale of 0 to 10. We call it a SUDS. So when I ask for your SUDS level, I'll ask for you from 0 to 10, 10 being the worst case scenario, 0 being no problem at all. What's your SUDS level? And so that way we can kind of gauge if we're having an issue and if we're making progress. So that's one of the first tips. The second tip is to be as specific on the problem as possible. And we'll talk more about that in another video. But that's one of the biggest tips and one of the biggest issues that people have. Another great tip is to keep yourself hydrated. Keep drinking a lot of water. And I mean, when I say hydrated with liquid, I mean clear liquids like water. That's the best thing. Coffee, tea, milk, Coke, those soft drinks, they don't count either. So we've got to get to water or an herbal tea, maybe something without a lot of chemicals. So that's it in the basic recipe. That should get you going. There will be more tips to come. Again, sign up for the free EFT zine at livefreewitheft.com so that you can stay up to date on all of the newer tips. We have shortcuts as well. This is the complete basic recipe, but there's also some shortcuts and some scenarios where we don't use everything. So find out more about that and how it can become not only a tool that's effective for you, but how it can be a quick one that you can use on the spot at any moment within seconds or maybe a minute or two. So again, this is a tool as you delve deeply that can become a very, very important tool towards your enlightenment, towards your growth, towards your desires, towards your goals, towards a life of peace and happiness. And that's what I wish for all of us. Take care and keep tapping.